Motivation and results of group work in art education. In Hungary, art education is widespread. Art courses provide opportunities for afternoon activities. I meet with my students twice a week. Many students have come to my classes for 8 years, but the composition of the groups can change from year to year. I think the most difficult and advanced creative process involves group work, a cooperation in which everybody should find a task for which they are best suited. The basic principle is drawn from Mrs. Maria Sikach-Vida's academic work. From the examples of pair drawing, we can classify the following types: complementary, helping and complementing each other; symmetric, working in parallel; and divergent, isolated and non-cooperative. To create art with groups of children demands extra planning and the introduction of tasks that build on each other. As an example, there is the montage of plans where individual plans are joined together. Here we work with children at the same skill level. This is not the typical situation. Some children are better in drawing, while others at the making of the main motif, details, the main idea, mixing colors, doing background painting, correcting or making the contours. Each student finds their role. In this lies the essence of group work. We must find everyone a tailor-made task, an opportunity to show off the best of their abilities. In the beginner's class, we start working in small groups where the theme could be an illustration from a children's story. In this example, we use a 50 by 70 centimeter size paper that we gradually increase. During the processing of tails, we draw sketches for the painting of the calligraphic motifs, for example, ivy or fairy plants. Pictures are created using many different art materials. We put emphasis on techniques that are typical handicrafts, collage, or large-size paper mosaics. By the use of these techniques, we prepare the implementation of image filling and surface forming for a larger size work. In the case of the Tree of Life pictures, the tree itself is designed by one student, while the design of the rest of the motifs are made in collaboration, often using examples from different ancient cultures. We study mythological themes, the secret world of symbols, the art history of antiquity, the history of fashion, and the art history trends of the 20th century. In major compositions, for example, the photographic background of Kivarek Linek, or the mixture of creatures, the selected designs are drawn on the sheet material by the best drawing student. This is followed by the collaborative contour and batik work, and the final painting of the background. Our pictures are mainly made on a sheet or canvas material. After studying the relevant art history, students choose freely among the motifs connected to the themes. These individual preparations can be seen in the collaborative composition entitled 20th Century Icons, or in the photographic background featuring Greek and Egyptian mythological characters. We exhibit our new sheet paintings and sceneries on the special occasions of school plays, concerts, and exam shows. If it is possible, they are then exhibited in the classrooms as permanent decorations. In our music classroom, there is a composition entitled Cantata Profana, which was inspired by Bartók's world-famous musical masterpiece. The folk music classroom is decorated with a painted textile picture with folk art motifs that are reminiscent of painted wooden churches. In the handicraft classroom, felt art compositions serve as examples for our new students. The technical solution of the pictures is determined by the theme and the function. These large, common works of art are suitable for decoration, photographic background, textile pieces, sceneries, or exam work. The other annual project is the Artisan and Textile Group's Fashion Show. This is presented at the Etiek Cellar Festival at the end of the school year's gala show. We approach the chosen and outlined fashion eras by analyzing photographs, historical data, and cult films. When designing clothes, we choose materials and techniques according to the specific age of the children in the group. Normally, in the beginners classes, we make reproductions of clothing, dyeing of fabrics, and batik work. On the images, you can see painted t-shirts, transformed jeans, painted fabrics, and materials made by children. Generally, the making of these is not technically difficult. Everybody can succeed in sewing, applique, beading, and button sewing without any problem. These are basic skills children generally have no previous knowledge of, but they can easily be learned. For example, how to thread a needle, sewing on buttons, or finishing the stitch. An important part of the fashion project is the design of accessories. We design and make necklaces, hairbands, belts, ribbons, hats, scarves, painted shoes, and bags. When selecting the materials, we pay special attention to the shaping characteristics of these materials, how well they can be painted, their impact on the period, and the range of the children's choices. Harmonizing colors is an important task, but the most important thing is to satisfy each child's idea within the given limit. Clothes are not taken home to avoid parental influence. In the beginning, children often mistake this project to be for a school fancy dress party, where the clothes they wear are normally ready-made. This group, whose show you see at the end of the presentation, left school last year. They represented the core students that I had worked with for 8 years. As part of our exhibition about the 20th century trends, we made so-called painting dresses. The first idea came from the Mondrian dress, which we further developed. The students painted emblematic paintings on the dresses that were inspired by Monet, Kandinsky, Matisse, and Miro. The project of Future Fashion was an old collective plan we actualized last year with our rag show. The entire collection was truly made of recycled fabrics, waste materials, thrown away plastic objects, and plastic bags. We did not need to collect these waste materials in advance. We had a continuous supply brought to our workshop. Beyond this simple task of collecting, the implementation was a bit more complicated. We often had to modify the techniques because these works tore and crumpled easily. but there were always new compositions created. The resulting show was loved by the audience, and the electronic musical accompaniment was also very popular. The older girls got involved with hairstyles and makeup. We went to a hairdresser to see how a 1960s bun worked, watched Beatles films, and some 1920s Charleston archive recordings. This selection of choreography and scene setting is mainly connected to films. Based on my experiences, films that are popular with the children are Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet, Milos Forman's Hair, and Peter Timar's Chini Baba. As much as we understand the value of films, we emphasize the importance of visiting exhibitions about the shaping of fashion and fashion history. We regularly attend alternative fashion shows, and later, back in the classroom, we look at the photos and discuss the extraordinary designs and can consider the unusual effects it has had on our students. Our first fashion show was in 2005. At this premier event, one of our dance students from our school, who is now a contemporary dancer and choreographer, created the choreography. Since then, the students have worked together to create the choreography. The show reflects individual forms of movement and individual ideas. These shows are normally presented as a performance. This complex form of expression, the interoperability of genres, and the collaborative work greatly contributes to the development of the group and to the formation of tolerance within the group. These students who study in the fine art department come to us primarily because they enjoy paintings, beautiful objects, and take pleasure in making art just as much as they share a desire to perform. The one-of-a-kind designed and handmade clothing, the shows that are prepared and executed together, the common dance, and finally the common success bring the maximum artistic performance out of the children. This joint success that we experience is often worth more than a certificate or mark showing achievement. In my work, I found the most attentive and artistic fulfillment among my students during the collaboration of group work, and this is what I wanted to express here with this presentation of the children's artwork. I have been working in art education more than 30 years. In the past, I taught in experimental schools where art teaching was connected to different subjects. This is when I started focusing on complexity and the research into interoperability among the different fields of art. Lilla Lakatos, artist, Visual and Environment Culture Department, Hungary, Etiek, May 2011.